On this James the Bike Guy, we're taking a look at a pretty epic all-mountain trail bike. This bike has 150 millimeters of suspension up front, 140 millimeters of Maestro suspension out back, and it's specifically designed for women. That's right, we're checking out the Liv Intrigue Advanced. This is the sister bike to the Giant Trance Advanced, and it offers a whole ton of capability in what I would consider a pretty incredible price point. So we're gonna go ahead and check out this bike. We'll talk about who this bike is for, the design and components, and then of course we'll find out exactly what it weighs. So if this kind of thing is interesting to you, I'd like you to hit that subscribe button and let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. To first start talking about this bike, we should talk a bit about Liv. So Giant has been around for quite some time. They're one of the largest and most major bike manufacturers out in the marketplace. And they saw an opportunity to create a bike that was women specific. But rather than shrink it and pink it like some brands do, they created an entire brand called Liv, which is dedicated to a full line of women's bicycles. So they have everything from entry-level mountain bikes and hybrid bikes all the way up to carbon steeds like this, and they're all specifically designed so that female riders can have the best riding experience. It's neat to see a major manufacturer make such an investment in a women's specific lineup, because everyone should have the best experience out on the trail. The Intrigue Advanced is designed for that all-mountain rider that wants a bike that's going to be capable for legitimately just about everything. And how they're going to do that if they've paired up a nice slack 66.5 degree head tube angle with a 74.5 degree seat tube angle to a bike that's running 140 millimeters of suspension travel up front and 140 millimeters of Maestro suspension out back, paired up with their advanced carbon front triangle and aluminum triangle in the back and 27.5-inch wheels. This means that the bike should be super nimble, running only a 438 millimeter chainstay length, and that carbon front triangle is going to help keep things super stiff and super strong, while in the back end they're going to help save some costs using an aluminum rear triangle. Now, I said that the rear suspension is going to be a Maestro suspension. So Maestro is their link right here, which you can see creates this pivot point that's going to move up and down in the plane of the suspension travel. The rear end is then going to be fixed, and then you're going to have this rocker link which drives down on a Fox DPS rear shock. This suspension design is going to do really well for helping to balance out braking and pedaling forces while still having very good small bump compliance. And up front, this fork is attached into the frame with a 1.5 to 1.125 tapered steer, and it comes down to a Fox 36 Rhythm. The Rhythm is going to be the more affordable version of the Fox 36, so it's using a grip damper, and that grip damper is going to be adjustable infinitely from firm to open using this blue dial. Now there's 36 millimeter stanchions in this nice black coating, all alloy construction, and then on the non-drive side you'll see it's got a spot for air adjustment. So this is pretty neat because you can adjust the suspension to your weight and riding style, as well as this Fox 36 is compatible with your typical 36 millimeter spacers from the Fox lineup to dial in the air chamber. I'll have a link up above so you can see how that's done. Last things to mention with the frame is it is dropper post compatible. It is all internal cable routing. This iridescent paint is downright gorgeous in person. And to me, I think the whole setup of this frame and fork combo is really dialed for the usage of the bike. For Cockpit Components, we're set up with a Giant Contact series. So this is going to have the trail handlebar, which is a 35 millimeter bar clamp handlebar. You're going to have their aluminum Contact SL stem, also 35 millimeter. As you come across, we've got Liv lock-on grips. These grips are pretty nicely appointed and very grippy in my opinion. And then you go back to the Liv Sylvia SL saddle, mounted up onto a giant contact switch dropper post. This dropper post is a remote 1x style dropper, so you press this lever right underneath the brake handles, and this is going to control the saddle going up and down. Drivetrain wise on this bike, you're getting a modern 1x12 drivetrain. This is Shimano's SLX drivetrain. So the SLX drivetrain runs this nice Shadow Plus rear derailleur, which means we've got a clutch mechanism. As you can see, it's turned off right now, so the cage can move up and down and the chain can kind of flap around. But this being a Shadow Plus means you've got a clutch that you can turn on, which is going to tighten up that cage and make the chain not bounce around, keeping the drivetrain a heck of a lot more quiet when you're out on the trail. The reason you might turn that off is to take the wheel out. It makes it a little bit easier, but the rest of the time you would keep that connected. The derailleur is pushing the chain through this 10 to 51 tooth cassette, which means you have a 510% range in the rear end, moving forward into the Shimano SLX crankset. This crankset is running through a press fit bottom bracket, but I do like to see that it's got ISCG mounts underneath here if you look through, to be able to add a bash guard for extra protection to the rear end of the bike should you want to. This all is running through a Shimano SLX shifter. So this SLX shifter is going to be single release for the thumb button, and either your thumb or your index finger can run the second trigger to bring it into harder gear. Slowing the bike down is Shimano's MT520 hydraulic brakes. These hydraulic brakes are operating 4-piston calipers with 180 millimeter rotors to slow down the 27.5-inch wheels on this bike. The wheel and tire combo is a place where I really feel like this bike is just killer for the price point. So what we're checking out here is going to be a carbon set of wheels. So these carbon wheels are the Giant TRX 2 27.5 wheels. These are a 30 millimeter internal width carbon rim that's laced up to Giant's own proprietary hubs that are running some Maxxis High Roller 2 tires. These are 27.5 by 2.5 inch wide tires. The bike can handle up to 2.6s, and this is coming tubeless compatible right out of the box. So of course you've got the tubeless ready wheels and tires, those carbon rims, and then the hubs are going to be Boost 15 by 110 millimeter through axle, and naturally 12 by 148 millimeters in the rear. So this bike has all the modern standards. It's got super high volume tires. I love the fact that you're getting those carbon wheels matching up with the advanced carbon front triangle. The actual weight for a Liv Advanced size medium is going to come in and weigh 28.35 pounds. Thanks for watching this video on the Liv Intrigue Advanced. Go ahead and let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below. Be sure to drop a thumbs up and don't forget to hit subscribe so you can see more videos like this in the future.